Ah, those subtle industrial tones. That can only mean it's time for Primal. But we completed a chapter last time, so we unlocked the making of another bonus video. I guess I'll find those on YouTube and link them in the description of a later video. I don't want anyone getting distracted by them just yet. Least of all myself. So we also got a card for King Adaro, the crab, the partial crab, and Queen Aino, the Queen of Cups, who tried to save the fish people and failed miserably, so we had to do it. And now we're all up to speed. Let's return to the Nexus Hub and see where the story takes us from here. Should involve a completely new territory. Lead the way, Scree. He's killing it. He's leading the way like a pro. What a leader. Born leader, that guy.
Jennifer, Scree, you have both done much to commend yourselves.
Hey, no problem.
Thank you.
Do you believe me now, Jennifer? That Abaddon is a danger to these realms, and that he and his agents must certainly be stopped?
Oh, he's bad news, Orella, I see that. But it's cool. He tried to mess up Solum and Aquas, and me and the big guy here just cruised on in and made things right. You know, and a problem.
I wish it were that easy, Jennifer. But there are more far-reaching repercussions of these disturbances. Each of these imbalances allow the armies of chaos to grow and spread.
Oh, here we go.
You are far from the end of your journey, Jennifer.
No, I can't keep bailing you guys out, okay? I got my own priorities. I need to find Lewis and get back home. Look, I've helped you plenty now, Orella, and I don't mind cause I like you, but for me, this is the end of the line.
Jen, I'm sure that...
Hold on, mister, cause I'm talking to you too. And I mean back there. Yeah, okay. I know you did the right thing in the end, but without me, you were gonna put that guy through the blender, victory at all costs, and then shouting at me not being ready to make sacrifices. Well, I'm telling you, I've made enough.
No, Jen, no, that's not what I was saying. It wasn't about you.
And while I'm at it, Orella, don't you think, as the so-called leader of the forces of order, that you've been just a little bit negligent? Or was it part of your plan that the fate of the world end up in the hands of an overgrown garden gnome and a goddamn waitress?
Jennifer, Scree deserves better than to be talked to like that.
Whatever, I've had it.
What do you know about your parents, Jennifer?
What?
You never knew them, did you?
How do you know that?
You are a hybrid, Jennifer. Half mortal, half demon. One of only two in all existence. And to me, that makes you more important than an army of demons. Did you think it was just those trinkets on your arms that allowed you to change form? You have powers even Abaddon does not fully comprehend. You can go anywhere, do things that Belazar could not if he had a millennium. The laws of the Nexus are yours to break. And Lewis is the same.
You're lying.
I had an army once, Jennifer. Just after you were born, I lost it all in a battle to wrest two infants away from Abaddon. Only my general, bravest and strongest of my warriors, escaped the slaughter, and he fled the battlefield to hide you and Lewis in Mortalis. He was captured on his return, and Abaddon gave him to his warlord Belazar so that they might learn of your location. He endured monstrous torments at their hands, but he never spoke a single word as to your whereabouts. Eventually, after many years of torture, he was able to disguise himself and make his escape. To this day, he is believed by our enemies to be dead. Through sheer force of will, he had projected his spirit into the nearby form of a small stone effigy.
Scree. Why didn't he say something?
It is not his way. Do you see now why you must go on?
I'm scared, Arella.
You must not be. This is your destiny, Jennifer. Are you willing to continue?
I guess so.
Scree?
Ladyship,
Loyal Abdazur, guide Jennifer on into the realm of ether. Abaddon has bestowed a dark gift upon its people.
But, only if you're not sick of the sight of me.
it would be an honor.
This makes me glad, but hurry. I may not have a presence in the Nexus by the time you return. Go now.
Killer job with that guilt trip, Ella. Jen made a bunch of good points. Now she's begging you to stay in service. This game just really does not want you to like the plot. You're gonna like the characters. The characters are very strong. But they're chosen and special. And they must do what they must do. Even though they desperately don't want to. And should have a choice in the matter, but simply do not. There's no argument, there's no bargaining or any sort of compromise, just do it. And like that you're doing it too. You can't even complain about it. Ah, well. Fortunately, in terms of gameplay, that means we get to continue the game and go into a new realm where it's fun. Maybe not as fun as previously assumed.
Nope, don't like it. Let's go back to the beach.
This is Etherjan, a realm of treacherous mountains and even more treacherous people, the Wraith.
And it's aligned with chaos, right?
In Solon and Aquis, Abaddon was trying to overturn the natural balance. But Chaos was already drawing power from here. Doubtless, Abaddon's plan for Ether has simply been to tighten his evil grip.
Just a wild stab in the dark, but I'm presuming these Wraith aren't exactly going to be our bosom buddies.
We will have to be extremely careful here, Jen. But there are two castes in Ether. Up there live the Wraith aristocracy. We must really beware of them. They are decadent and dangerous, true enemies of my lady Arella. However, the Helot, living in the village over there, are rather different. They live in squalor, oppressed by their rulers. I think they're too downtrodden to pose us any threat. At least that's how things have always been. But as we've seen, none of the realms are as they were.
Ah, don't sweat it, Rocky. We're on a roll. So, where to?
We should make our way out of here and round to the village.
So one of the viewers from last time was correct. There are two realms of order and two realms of chaos, and this is our first realm of chaos, after solving the problems of two realms of order. Meaning it's dark and creepy, and constantly raining, with a really nice rain effect. Look at that splattering on the camera. That's good stuff. For a PS2 game, I appreciate it. We're already at a dead end here. What do we have down here? Treasure chests with tarot cards. You know how I love those things. Love them so much that I'm gonna cheat to get the rest of them. So we're not afforded a lot of options right out of the gate. Speaking of gates,
Nope. We're not getting in this way.
this is one of those gates that is arbitrarily too heavy to move, even with our full team. Fortunately, or not, almost the entirety of Aetha is made of stone. And Scree can climb stone. So Scree is going to be solving a lot of our problems using wall walking. That's kind of a slow process. And everything is made of stone. So you'll be tempted to walk across all sorts of surfaces. Most of them are dead ends. But some of them are required for progress. And you just gotta start wall crawling to find out which one's which. So we got a long, long drop down. We already saw I accidentally started crawling down it earlier, so Scree can handle it no problem, but what of Jen? Scree can also solve that by setting the rope down. Then Jen repels. Obviously you want to do this first before sending Scree down. Imagine rappelling down rain-slick bricks. Might be kind of challenging. Especially because the Van Braces don't have, like, gloves, so her fingers are totally exposed to the wet rope. That would actually get kind of painful. But Jen cannot be stopped. He's quite the badass. Suffers through all sorts of horrible things. All you gotta say is stop whining so much, and she'll keep on suffering. Also, we learned that her boyfriend is another half-demon. And, I don't know, that might make them siblings. I don't know how many half-demon families there are out here. Arella suggested that they're incredibly rare.
Help me out, would you?
So, I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we'll learn more. In fact, I'll say it's probable we will learn more as we go through this. For now, though, we need to head through the mountainous Aetha castles, which we're gonna perform some class warfare. We saw that the rich live on a big castle, highly elevated above the rest of the town. And the poor are in the slums, barely surviving. So starved that they can't even pose a threat, even if they wanted to. Oh no, a monster. Jen is eager to kill it, as usual. It is eager to kill me. Monsters here are kind of quadrupedal, which is new. Haven't seen anything quite like that before. Stab it in the brain. Put it away. So Jen's health pool as a human is very, very small. Anytime we take a hit, we'll be rapidly approaching death. But if we don't die, our health regenerates. And with such a small health pool, it regenerates pretty quickly. And when we are a demon, we need to recharge constantly, and it gets kind of frustrating. So I'm going to try and stay human for a little while. And then if I'm about to die, I'll turn into a Farai again. But for the most part, I'm going to try and avoid combat. Which is not going to work. Because these weird bat creatures are pretty aggressive. I think they're supposed to be bats. They've got like wing flaps underneath their arms. They remind me of bat creatures. That is a lot of enemies. And I don't remember hearing this battle music before, but I like it. Even more than most of the others. There we go, that's our backswing attack. I want to try and mix it up. So I do a short left, long right. Tends to be a very powerful combo, no matter what form you're in. And that guy did die. It's so hard to tell if an enemy died or not. Let's try something. I'm gonna walk over here. You've seen how far enemies get knocked back. There we go. I knocked him out of bounds. That is an instant death. We don't even have to do the execution when that happens. This level is designed around allowing you to do instant kills like that by knocking enemies off of platforms. That is going to speed up combat quite a bit. Mercifully. We got an energy fountain.
No.
Full up on that. Now I'm full up on mermaid energy. Scree's pretty much full up as well. But we'll top him off. And there we go. Do we go through that door? No. This is an actual village. They weren't screwing around when they said the poor live in the slums. And we can go through and, like, check every single door. And it'll be a very long animation, and then Jen will say, can't do it. It's locked. But you can sort of see which doors won't be locked by checking the map frequently. Like this one here, the map continues beyond this door, so obviously the door must be accessible. You even have one light on. Let you know that you're welcome. And they left their dramatic stock music on. Still think the original score of this game is nothing special. Serves a purpose. If they made the whole game metal music, maybe that would have been for the better. The composer for this game is also very workmanlike. Done a bunch of video games, and that's about it. Nothing you've particularly heard of, except for one that we will talk about, which is very, very important, actually. Somehow I never knew this. But the developers of Primal are best known for having developed the medieval series. Like Sir Dan Fortescue, the skeleton knight guy from the PS1. Yeah, that's this developer. They made both of those games and the, like, 2019 remake. So, we have a locked well here. This is very important. Keep in mind this well. For later. But yeah, I've never really had much interest in medieval. Which is weird, because it's like a gothic horror platformer thing. So it should more or less be right up my alley. But I never played it, and I never had much interest in playing it, but now that I've been playing this, I suddenly have an interest in medieval. The long-running series.
We're not getting in this way.
Of weird, cool games. These bats are excessively aggressive. I'm not finding... Oh, the opposite corner is where I need to go. All of the realms we can go into in this world are gigantic And most of that space is completely worthless to us. Presumably there are hidden tarot cards around, but I've even, like, crawled through some of the obscure parts of the very large areas they drop us into and found nothing. So there really are just large, empty areas around here. This guy just emerged from the ground. Is that a power of theirs that I wasn't aware of? I'm legitimately unsure whether they can knock us off the edge the way I can knock them off the edge. The map said this was a dead end. And what do you know? It's a dead end. Who'd have thought? The bats cannot hurt me during a canned animation, unless it's a door opening animation, apparently. But that's the whole reason enemies even exist in this game. If you didn't have to open doors, enemies, you could just run past them always. Hence why I've been running past them. This is not sustainable. We will have to fight the enemies eventually. But they have very, very, very high HP pools. So we don't want to make a habit of fighting them. Energy will become an issue if we try to fight every single enemy we find. That looks interesting. So let's go the opposite way. See if there's anything of value. I have a feeling there might not be. Besides dead trees and leaping quadrupedal vampires to ignore. And chugging metal guitars. It's hilarious. When we watched the opening cutscene, I was really, really concerned that the 16-volt music would get us a copyright notification. Because it's a, like, named band. That's licensed music. You could buy that song that was played during the intro on an album. Just go to a store and buy 16 Volt's album. Back when stores had albums. And then, since I've been uploading these videos, I've gotten numerous copyright strikes, and none of them for 16 Volt music, all of them for the original score. Which I can do nothing about. The original score plays through, like, all the cutscenes. We would lose most of the plot if I tried to edit those out. So there's simply no way to play this game and not get copyright strikes. Hey, a guillotine. Eat the rich.
Those dinky little legs finally giving up on you, Scree? I mean, that's a lot of granite to be hauling.
I shall rise above the personal insults
Nice to have something you do rise above, Rocky, my boy.
and simply caution you to slow down. I don't like the sound of this place.
Okay. Sorry. I don't hear anything.
Exactly. This village, this square should be bustling right now. Ether's a tough world to live in. The Wraith peasantry usually pack this place, scraping some way to survive. Why is it deserted?
It's not.
I don't like this at all.
Now, when you're sounding scared, I know this is bad. Why can't we just once stumble upon a fairground or a birthday party? Just once.
Get back. Hide now, Jen. Someone's coming.
Uh-oh. We got company.
Keep well hidden, Jen. This isn't going to be pleasant.
Or a circus, an ice rink, picnic in the park. Just once.
You had your beach vacation, Jen. That's all you're gonna get. You're in hell.
But my dearest beauty, can't you simply smell their presence? Cowering, pathetic, filthy.
Awaiting a glimpse of their masters, to drool as we take up their sacrifice. The vermin.
My lord, I have such pleasure
hours awaiting you when we are clear of this nauseous place.
The pleasure will be all yours, Ampusa, my deadly flower. So, let us to the business in hand. Fools! Inern, Tor Yemilot Parakin, ungrateful, ignorant race of rats! You think that is worthy of us?
His blood could not energize a worm.
We demand one, and to make it simple for your peasant skulls, one is the number that comes before two. One meager sacrifice from this village. But as you know, a strong, worthy offering, a young, powerful man, or an athletic woman full of vigor. And what do we get? The runt of your pathetic litter! Now, before this infested pit causes my divine Ampusa to vomit, we shall leave you to select your village's true sacrifice. Captain Valira will return shortly to collect the replacement. And never make this mistake again.
My lord, come and see the look of sheer relief on this weary old man's face, now that he has been spared. What a joy!
So thankful and pathetic. It's his lucky day. Are you sure, my love, that you don't want me to pluck out an eyeball? A toy for our little Elizabeth.
No, no, my beloved. Leave him his eyeballs. Just cut his throat.
Lizezaz Angeldi Udver dot Nijana Evilap. Apkapat.
Scree. That was awful.
I'm sorry you had to see that, my child. Ether always was a perilous place. Now it's chaos at its worst.
You know that pair?
Count and Countess Raum and Ampusa. The Wraith aristocracy have always been evil, living in decadence while the Helots starve. But this is all new. Blood sacrifices.
You see the way he moved?
Time-shifting, Wraith specialty.
Along with good looks and charm. I can't watch and let them get away with that.
First, we need to know exactly what is going on.
There's someone who might know. Shall we follow him?
Yep, how very French Revolution of this area. They cut away from the throat slice. That was like the big climactic moment, and they didn't even show it. Some M rating this game has. Oh well. At least we have, like, actually detestable villains. Raum and Ampusa. They're clearly bad. And we want to stop them. And they're, like, doing it intentionally. They're not manipulated or any other weird cop-out. So, we saw them fly over here. And their heavily armed guard. And the cutscene was not entirely clear where the other guy went, who we intend to follow. Clearly it's not here. Because, oh, we can go through no problem. Maybe it is here. I'm relatively sure it isn't, but They're giving us the freedom to check. Maybe I will regret checking. It's full of vampires. And a teleportation gate, which I've already activated. Simply by setting foot here. So, I will excuse myself. It's clearly a dead end. Just take our teleportation gate and head to the opposite side. Pretty sure the opposite side is where we want to go. Also, the guillotine imagery is being used by the aristocracy to threaten and slay the underclass, which is a choice. They're probably not actually saying anything with that. It's just an interesting irony. And the French Revolution did end up getting a little out of control. Similar things did occur throughout the course of that little adventure that they had back in France. At Scamp Robespierre. Cutscene. We're on the right track. Alright, follow the torch. It stays lit in the rain. Our torches can't even survive a stiff breeze. This guy's torch is extra powerful. I beat Blast Tyrant to the Robespierre reference. That podcast I listened to about the French Revolution finally paid off. I can make references while playing a video game. Surely there's something up there. But the poorly animated and incredibly fast torchbearer indicates that we ought not go that way. There's a portrait of a human here. What is this doing here? This is... I didn't notice this while I was practicing this level. What the hell? This is the weirdest thing I've seen in this whole game. But whatever. A human used to live in this house. Maybe this house is like hundreds of years old. Because I guess like half human, half demons used to exist in this world. And then they sort of went extinct. Due to Arella being a failure. Climbed all the way up here, and I found an empty bedroom. We got some floating yellow goo. There we go. This has got to be a tarot card. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, worth it. I like seeing the tarot cards, so... better to have it and not need it. That incredibly fast Olympic torch bearer has to be like 100 miles away by now. Especially with how fast Jen runs. Just a lazy jaunt through this mostly abandoned town. And into the decrepit, incredibly poor lower classes wine cellar.
What was that?
There's someone hiding down there.
Leave here, now.
Wine cellar where they are hiding. But yeah, it's a full-on wine cellar.
No good.
No good to the achievement of what? We don't know exactly what we're doing, but
That's wrong.
these are interactable, and Jen will yell at us until we interact with them in the right way. But look at how much booze they got. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad to be an oppressed lower class with this much of the good stuff. Maybe they have to ship it all off to the wealthy elites. We'll say that. I think this is the right one.
It's okay. You're perfectly safe. We're not here to hurt you.
Get away from there. Follow me, did you?
We saw exactly what you saw in the square. We're here to help.
Then close that trapdoor now, fool! Or you'll help these people to be slaughtered.
Sorry for... But we are going to help you out of this.
Julian King, Abhop Lirag.
Look, we're sorry. Scree here was just trying to...
What right have you to talk to me? I will not speak with a corruption now. What are you doing here?
And this is their good guy.
You will talk to me, sir, and you will talk to my friend. You're in no position to turn away allies, believe me.
You expect me to welcome strangers? Her kind brought this upon us.
Listen, I need you to tell me what these sacrifices are all about.
Blood. Counterarm has been gifted with a dark science. He draws blood from my kinsmen to boost his own vitality. When the bell tolls, they take a sacrifice from our village, and they drink his blood.
Vampires.
And so we live in hiding, plagued by beasts unleashed on the village, haunted by the loss of our people, by the approaching toll of the bell. Even haunted by the one aristocrat who tried to help us.
I don't understand.
A duke, opposed to the Count's godless ways, plotted secretly to help us. But he was finally unmasked and hanged, his bones forbidden our burial rites. The Count has turned his enemy into a phantom. Now, I must prepare for Valera's return. But I will never again ask one of my brethren to step forward. The next blood shed will be mine.
If we can help it, the last sacrifice has already happened. We'll leave you to talk to your people in peace. I think we need to go to the heart of all this, the Count's mansion. You must do nothing until we return.
Right. We got wealthy French vampires and poor enslaved German racists. It's gonna be fun. I guess the implication there was that humans oppressed them as well. Or at least they believed that humans oppressed them and then they exterminated the humans. Which is why there was that big portrait of the human inside the house. I don't know why they wouldn't have taken it down. But at least it's possible that it would have existed in the first place. Some deep lore going on here, but we're gonna help the German racists. Because the aristocrats are murderers. Maybe we'll gain the trust of the Germans along the way. So let's just go across this completely destroyed bridge that should be in a very fragile state. And just leap across a huge gap over a bottomless chasm onto wet, rainy wood. That is by far the most dangerous thing we've done in the entire game. And it was just handled automatically. All I had to do was press forward. No cutscene, nothing. Terrifying, but Jen, completely unfazed.
You ever get the feeling you're being watched? You warned me about this place, Scree, I'll give you that, but ghosts? Vampires?
You see up there, Jen? It says, lay me to rest. What do you think, Jen?
We keep going?
That's my girl.
Oh, we are moments away from running into a mummy. And then, a Frankenstein. This is Halloween Town. And even Goth Girl Jen is a little intimidated by it all. Ooh, a werewolf would be nice too. The Farai were kind of like implied to be werewolf-ish, but they weren't. We got all these monuments and tombstones, but they don't really seem to say anything. Hello, Ghost. Thanks for stopping by.
My sword, the power you need. Stay away from the chateau until I am in peace.
His sword.
To lay his spirit properly to rest, his bones must be buried along with his weapon.
The Lyra. Realm's captain's got the sword now. And the way my vambrace glowed when she came near. We need that sword to give me the Wraith mojo. It's the only way I'll be of any use here.
Remember who we're dealing with, though. None of the Wraith are to be trusted. But perhaps this gentleman should be given the benefit of the doubt. I think we ought to give the Duke here a proper burial.
Yeah, we're still dealing with gray morality. This is the aristocrat who went against the other aristocrats, but is still an aristocrat and wants that to be known. So he's like the liberal among the fascists. Great. It's, I guess, the best we can hope for. R.I.P. Laura Croft, 2003. Maybe that's Laura Croft for legal purposes? Maybe. But it's true. Jen has killed and buried Lara Croft by being the new badass female protagonist. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just Lara Croft. Tried to explore the dark world back when humans still roamed Oblivion. That's what all the Tomb Raider games were all about. And then in 2003, she died horribly. Anyway, what the hell are we supposed to do? The ghost didn't really tell us. The map tells us. There's a gibbet over the doorway of this weird mortuary we just walked through. There it is, way up there. Honestly, I'm really interested in the Tomb Raider reboot series. The first game of which is just called Tomb Raider. And then there's like Rise of the Tomb Raider and that shit. Those look like really good games. I had very low expectations when I heard that Tomb Raider was being rebooted. But those games seem to be right up my alley. Super gruesome, but super cool. So maybe I'll play those sometime.
No good. Too high for me.
So that is how I discovered what to do next. I was just stumbling around randomly. And I pressed my face against that wall and Jen said, it's a little too high. That means jump powers must be activated. And there we go. Now, go all the way around and get our hands on the gibbet. Actually walk carefully. We're walking the plank here. We can't actually fall off, but it's cool if there's a new animation. We saw it once before when I was crossing the log. First level.
Ready, Jen? Lower it down gently.
I can't hear. Stand clear. I'm gonna cut it down now.
What? Don't come down now. Just lower it gently after 3. 1.
Scree! Sorry! Sorry.
I said lower it gently after 3.
And I said stand clear. Anyway, no harm.
You've chipped my ear off. I can't believe it. You've chipped my left ear off.
Oh dear.
I've been vandalized. It's not funny. It's an ear.
I know. Can't you still hear okay?
What?
Oh dear. I said can...
Yes, I heard you.
Sorry. I said sorry.
It's a whole ear.
It was an accident. I'll keep hold of this. We may be able to stick it back on.
I look ridiculous. There isn't much of me to begin with. A whole ear. I'm lopsided.
Laura Croft would never have engaged in that sort of slapstickery. But yeah, the voice acting there was fantastic. I believe that's Andreas Kuteas? That sounds wrong now that I'm saying it out loud. The voice of Scree. I'll have to look up the proper pronunciation, because he's really, really good. He deserves full credit.
We just drop him in, do you think?
No. I'm going to lower him in gently. 1, 2, 3.
Fine. So now we need a sword to go in there too.
We do. But wraith burials also require blessed water.
Okay. Perhaps old Pugface can help us with that.
Oh, yes, the gentleman in the cellar.
Let's go see old Pugface. I'm getting word from chat that it's probably pronounced Andreas Kutais, maybe? Frankly, I'm not up to the task of pronouncing names correctly. Unless they are said aloud for me. And I don't think the game is going to say the name of one of its voice actors out loud at any point. And unfortunately, he's a moderately obscure character actor. And I do know that he has passed away. This was one of his last roles, unfortunately. You wouldn't know it, though. Brings a lot of life to the character. Graveyard got infested with monsters, and I just ran away. What do I care? They're gonna kill the ghost? I doubt it.
Hello? It's only us. We need your help.
I have to do my duty now. Offer myself for sacrifice.
Hey, good plan. No, we won't let them guzzle your blood. See, if you're there as bait for Ralm's captain, we'll be hiding. Take her by surprise. We need to get the Phantom's sword back. It's the only way I'll be able to defeat Ralm and have a chance at saving your people.
But first, we've got to give the Duke a proper burial. I believe we'll need blessed water for that.
I see. As we've no other hope, I shall cooperate. I'll sanctify the water, and then place myself for sacrifice. Follow me to the well.
Remember the well? How that was in the second room of the entire level? And how we're like 100 rooms away from that point? Yeah, this is why I didn't fight the enemies along the way. Because this game loves backtracking. We already had to backtrack from the graveyard to the wine cellar. Now we need to backtrack through the entire level. And then, that'll get us the holy water. Then we're gonna have to backtrack again to get to the graveyard. We gotta play this level 3 times. And our escort stops to fight all the monsters the way that Jen does. I don't think we need to actually carry him. Actually, now that I think about it, yeah, we're gonna have to. So, let's knock enemies off the edge as quickly as possible. These greenish colored vampires, we can fight them and they'll die pretty quickly. Or we can knock them off the edge and they'll die instantly. The pale vampires, you do not want to fight them. They have like twice as much health as the greenish ones. It takes forever to fight them. And there's a lot of the pale vampires. I don't want to, like, go all the way to the end. And then find out that I actually do need the guy for the cutscene. Because that did happen in the first level. Not on recording, but in my practice run. I went all the way to the end of the level. Went to where the final cutscene should have occurred. But I didn't bring Jared with me, so nothing happened. The game didn't tell me what was going on. It just said, looks like this door is locked, but we needed to give the key to Jared, and only Jared could do it because cutscene powers. Let's top off. Fighting enemies is a real pain. These vampires are very powerful. This guy appears to have killed all of his vampires. No, they all went for me, really. The fights are a little easier and faster if we bring the guy with us, because he will fight them. But he won't distract them. They'll still primarily go for me, because they know he can't die. Hell yeah. Right over the edge. I love that. That's very satisfying to knock enemies out of bounds like that. So the entrance was across from the guillotine. I remember the iconic cutscene where the guillotine was introduced. Stuff of legends. People still write about. Primal and its guillotine cutscene. No one writes or talks about this game anymore. Kind of a shame. I think this is a good game. Certainly has its flaws. It could have been a lot better. I think they were going for, like, lowest common denominator. Because it's Sony and they couldn't take a ton of risks. Being one of the big 3 developers. But they really should have taken a lot more risks. The game would have been better for it. Where's my guy? He's being really bad at getting escorted this time. In my practice run, I could barely keep up with him. He was like really, really good at leading the way. And he was decent at combat. In this fight, he's doing okay at combat. Yeah, this is how much health the pale ones have. It is clearly much more than the green ones. You said it, unnamed character. I believe the game just calls this guy the Watcher with a capital W. Because who needs names at this point? We learned all about Adaro and Aino in the last level. Hearn and Jared and Divana. Now it's Watcher. The villains still get names. I think they enjoyed the villains more than the good guys in this level. And frankly, I do as well. Oh, yeah, we don't have to fight these guys. Our escort just goes right to the door. And then we do have to fight these guys. So, while we have just too much time during our backtracking exploits, Medieval, I still haven't played it. I guess I'll have to check it out. But this game came out in 2003. Their second chance at impressing Sony after Medieval did so well for them. It sort of became one of the iconic Sony characters. He's even in PlayStation All-Stars to the Rescue. He, the character Medieval, shows up in that terrible fighting game. Yeah, Medieval is well remembered. Got a recent resurrection. Probably pretty good. There's like 4 games in the series now. It's getting pretty ridiculous. Most of which are remakes, so I probably would only need to play the one. But maybe I actually will. I know those games tend to be like... I mean, they're T-rated, so they're much less grisly and dark than even Primal here, which is not grisly and dark. So maybe that's just this developer's style. To not be as big of an edgelord as I am. But it seems like the way this game was going, with the transformations and the character dies in the first few minutes. That's all classic edgelordery. But they didn't go all the way. Hey, we made it to the well. Wasn't even that excruciating.
Kehi dut kalari vol eos actuana nalti. Vid beagit vid umov från Sanchurör de dödi heiden apuni åter odmok juda. We'll draw no water with this. It's completely broken. If someone were able to climb down there, this is all we would need feed. Someone small.
All right, I'm going. How far down is the water?
Oh, it's a long way down. A long way down.
Naturally.
Why so ominous? I have no idea. They put us on that side, but I think this side is faster. Because, yeah, if you start on that side, it stops right there. This one is the one that goes all the way down to the bottom. That's where we need to be. And there we go. Dunk your entire head in there. Then crawl back out. I did not mean to crawl on this wall. But I will transfer over now. Climb back out. Simplest puzzle yet. But even with all the rainfall, the well's almost dry. These are a very thirsty people here. Jen, stop fighting without me. You're terrible at it. AI Jen would easily die if I left her to her druthers. We have the holy water now. I don't think we need to escort the guy back with us. So screw him. And he's breaking from combat anyway. I'm not going to fight all those vampires. It's too many vampires. And we have another long trek to go on. So, this game was released in 2003. I believe the studio is Cambridge something. And then they got merged with Sony Computer Entertainment, so they're like SCEE Cambridge. Something like that. I honestly think Scree is named after Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, because the abbreviation is SCEE. So they just added an R and made it one of the characters in the game. Surprising that all the actors are American, despite this being a European-developed game. Uh-oh. Well, let's save. Things do not look good right now. But we're saving, so hopefully our HP is high enough that we get through this. Anyway, this game, 2003, and we'll pick up that thought after this cutscene.
Not too tight, I hope.
With what I am to face, this is insignificant.
I told you you're not going anywhere. You're just luring them in for our attack. Don't worry about it. Trust us.
Huh. You had better withdraw. Ensemble est prêt.
Mutvap, Theos Evilla. Atus vegbid, udap hip gazavajot nerazimimon night. Sanye agdiam Theos shuvlast. Sumit gaza aninot jibraun.
Hold it, Xena.
I get it. Because she's from Xena.
Man. Man.
Even better.
Now that's the sword I'd kill for.
Love that cutscene. She's already attacking me before the cutscene even ends. And I brought a vampire with me. Who's not supposed to be here.
No.
Scree, get the hell over here.
No.
I need to drain your energy. Give me the energy, Scree. So this is lucky that she didn't follow me properly. Now I get to fight her with full health. She got stuck. I'm not thrilled that this vampire is here. This is bad news. So, we'll do what we can. Kill one or the other. I just want to separate one of these people so I can eliminate them and then get on with the boss fight. This'll do, I think. The tracking on the boss is worse than the tracking on the vampire. It would be preferable to lose the vampire completely. So I don't have to kill this vampire. And she lost me again. So, unnecessarily obnoxious, but I think we're gonna pull through. Scree's out of energy. I think he's gonna drain that corpse at least. And now we fight this super badass Wraith. She's super easy. Yeah, she's dead. Boss fight over.
Should have just given me this, honey. Would have saved you a lot of trouble. Oh, great. And I promised the miserable creep I wouldn't let them hurt him.
You fought well, Jen. I should have been more alert. Anyway, it's happened. So I suggest we get on with the burial, now we have the sword. You need the Wraith aspect, and we may even defeat Raum before our friend is sacrificed.
Try and save him, huh? Guess that's the least a corruption like me can do.
Now for the best design part of the entire level. They skip the backtracking, just teleport us right to the graveyard. Much appreciated.
This should be cool. Oh, yes.
Jennifer, a little respect, please.
Hey, Rocky. Tie me from a standing start.
Come on! We haven't got time for this. Only use the Wraith form in emergencies. Really doesn't bring out the best in you.
Taking another dump on the grave of Tomb Raider. Still debatably well earned. But there we go. Now Jen has achieved Raver mode. And some enemies showed up, so I'm going to leave that area, because I don't think they can follow me through the mortuary. we'll show off next time how Jen fights as a Wraith. I will take a short break. And then, Wraith time. We finally got it. The third aspect. And the puzzle solving that will be unlocked with all of our new abilities. See you momentarily for all that good stuff.